Raday, Leavy.
Alright, the topic for today, this person saw my post about old heads and wanted me to expound a little bit more on intellectual masturbation. Cool deal. Now, if I could explain intellectual masturbation in one sentence, it would be when people talk just for the sake of hearing themselves talk, right? There's nothing that comes from it. There's no, what would the Bible say? There's no fruitfulness to their bullshit. It's just talk, right? I'll give you an example. I know I've been in so many meetings and everything, and they start talking about. I remember at one meeting, they started talking about the Twa people in Africa, the pygmy people, whatever. And I swear to you, we were talking about something completely different. I think we're talking about ancient African culture or civilization, and someone brought up, something Twa. And then another person said, "Oh no, you mean the pygmy people." Oh, no, brother. They're called the Twa. And then someone else says, "Oh no, they're called the so and so people." And then no, they're called the Twa. No, they're called this. No, they're called that. And they went on a 20-minute argument debating the name of these small black people. It's like, okay, look, we know they're small. We all agree that they're short black people. We all agree with that. We all agree that they're ancient. We all agree all this other good stuff, right? Yes. Does it matter? But they just had it in their mind and they just had to get it out. Like that's an example of intellectual masturbation. For what it's worth, that's all I can really do is just kind of give you examples so you can get a feel. Like when you see this, you're like, oh, okay. But like as the great Ray Hagen said, he said he was at a conference, and they were talking about the Egyptian hieroglyphs. They called them the Medunetter, and that's what he said. He was talking to this guy, and he says, "Oh yeah, the Medunetter, da 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 da." And the guy, kind of stopped, and he says, "Oh no, brother, you mean the Medunetter," or however fancy way to, the Medunetter. And it's like, come on, man, really? I mean, was that really necessary? We both know what the hell I'm talking about. Do you really gotta go that far and be like, those types of people, kind of know-it-all, okay, know-it-all, but no show-it-all type people, right? Another example I can give you with intellectual masturbation is, okay, because a lot of my references come from the black community. This is for everybody, but I just, I gotta reference what I can reference. But I've been to the meetings and they say, okay, what could we do, with our communities? That's a lot of what comes up. Yeah, brother, we need to, bring our communities together. Okay, expound. I mean, I see you jerking, but come with it. I think that we need to have programs in place to see that our young folks are growing up the way that they should. And I think that we should probably have scholarships. We should probably have scholarships for our our high school kids that are about to go to college. That are I've been there, right? And then all that talk, no action. Saying, brother, hey, why don't you work on that scholarship fund? Why don't you work on bringing funds together? Oh, man, I mean, I would, but, I got my own financial issues to take care of, and I got this and that. I mean, I'm just saying it's a good idea. It should be done, but you know, it's not for me. Or you know, hey brother, you said you were gonna bring, you said you're gonna put a program in place for young kids. Why don't you go down to the youth center right over here and see if you could make something happen? Or why don't you? I am, but come on, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. All talk, no show. But that's those are just some examples of intellectual masturbation. Intellectual masturbation. I mean, for what it's worth, it's like regular masturbation or any type of physical sexual act. Like, it could be good. Like, sometimes you just gotta let it go. Like, there are sometimes you just gotta, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. But just like regular masturbation, I mean, if you do it too much, it's sad. It looks sad. It's just sad. I mean, because that's the whole thing. I mean, even when you look at sex, like, it's supposed to be with, another person, and you're supposed to make something out of it. It's the same thing with your speech. Like, you should be talking to people about getting shit done. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm a theoretical type of guy. Like, I think of crazy theories and all this other kind of good stuff, and I like to share them. But for what it's worth, I get on my shit too. And, but for what it's worth, man, I mean, you see what I'm talking about. You see the, you just see what I'm talking about. Like, anytime someone's just talking just for the fuck of it, like, they're not even like, I mean, maybe they want to be entertaining or something, or what, I don't know, but then again, let's get on the flip side. Someone might say, Raday, aren't you intellectually masturbating right now? Probably, you know what, dare say I am, but I mean, what do you think a blog is? What do you think YouTube is? Right? It's just a random. It's just like just a collection of circle jerks, in a community. As nasty as that sounds, but it is what it is. But for what it's worth, I mean, if you're listening to it and if you're listening to any of my stuff and you just like, oh, okay, I didn't really, think about it. Like, okay, all right. Well, then my job is done. I just planted my seed in your mind. Okay, that's nasty. I should edit that out, but I'm not going to. But with that is intellectual masturbation. If you see it, just recognize it as such. And for what it's worth, try not to make yourself a tissue for other people's issues, but just take that reference and expand on that yourself. I guarantee you there's going to be more on that later. But for what it's worth, I'm out. Oh, get at me at my Twitter, at Raday Leavy, or Facebook, Raday Leavy, whatever. It's Raday Leavy all day. So with that, I will see you later. Raday out.